Hey, thanks for watching. If you don't already, if you could please hit that like and follow and subscribe button, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TMGBurns. Thanks. Hi there, so today we're working on a nighttime piece. This was inspired by Walnut Hollow on Instagram and Woodburn Corner. And to start off, I'm starting off with the moon. It's going to be a full moon, and in front of it I've got a design of a cat sitting on a tree. So right now I'm working on the branches. I'm using the drawing point tip and focusing on deep, slow, thick lines to give the impression of branches as I'm working through kind of a feeling of bark, starting with the branch as the darkest point of the piece. You generally like working in layers as both the objects and the tone of the piece. And again, right now, to keep these lines thick and dark, I am focusing on keeping a slow pace and the angle of my wrist to get the lines to bend as needed. Now I'm moving on to the cat, and I switched up tips to the ballpoint tip, and I'm making slow, deliberate, smooth lines, as smooth as I can. Now that we've got the outline, I'm just drawing straight lines down the back to give the illusion of fur, focusing the bends to follow the contours of what a cat's body would look like. Right here, I'm switching to the left to get the front leg, or the hind leg, excuse me, and now it's time to move on to the night sky. I'm working my way from outside in, but it's kind of a slower process, so I'm using a shading tip with max temperature to get the outside and focusing on smooth, deliberate placement of the tip to get darker spots. We're not going for a completely smooth shade in this piece because it's a full night sky, or full moon night sky, and so we want to give kind of a milkiness. Now I also, in my stencil, put in some stars, and using the black ink as negative space, so I'm burning around it. Once we're done burning, we'll go in and clear that up. So now that I'm working on kind of the inner piece of the sky, I've turned down the temperature to like about half is what it was before, and I'm working on just blending things in. And that's based on two variables, which are time and pressure. So the longer and harder you press on any spot, you're going to come out with a different color. I'm working in rings for the night sky for a consistent gradient, so outside ring for the darker and inside ring for the lightest. Now that I'm back on the outside ring, to increase the dark gradient, I am at max temperature, spending more time on each spot and pressing a little bit harder. Here I've been using kind of darker small swirl motions to keep the smooth effect of the gradient, and working around the stars I've put in place. Again, using those as negative space, and we'll tidy that up at the end. I'm really just trusting my eyes and my hand here as I'm working and filling in the rest of the night sky. And I'm using the same temperature, so it's very quick motions and working slowly, adding layer after layer. Now we're moving on to the moon. I'm still using the same shading tip as before to make it a little more spherical and give the illusion of the craters and a little bit more of a 3D feel for the moon. Now I'm going to switch up tips to a different spoon tip, and this one is a little bit different in the size, so it's going to give a much smaller burn point, but it'll also be able to give us a darker impression. I'll be using that to kind of go in and spot clean up the night sky to make it a little bit darker, to increase the feel of the contrast from the light source of the moon and then leading off into the darkness of night. So now I'm going in and using a sanding eraser to clear out those negative spots of the stars I had placed before in the original design. and doing some final spot checking. And now that the piece is finished, I use a polyurethane spray. This is the satin, to give it a really smooth brown finish. And there you are. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, like, follow, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.